I love to share the good content with this podcast. So here we are, Podcast Mamas.
It's time for bed, oh, it's time for you. Mom and Dad says what you gotta do. We don't care if you ain't tired. Take it from the one whom you so admired. It's bedtime for Heather Missy. Don't you cry or go and hiss it. No more games and no running around, 'cause we don't wanna hear another sound. Just take your bell and get tucked in and don't make us swear again and again and again.
Welcome back, fans and friends, to the Podcast Mamas, navigating life with laughter in a special needs world. I am Carly, the mother of Ella, who is the queen of the special needs world some days.
It.
And I'm here with two fantastic hostesses, Nicole from Chicago, Ella's fairy godmother, and special guest star, Miss Laura, who has known Ella since the mere age of 3 years old, I believe. So here we are 17 years later, and we still have a beautiful relationship with Miss Laura, who has expanded her horizons, has gone from being a paraeducator to a teacher in the school district, to a teacher in a private school education platform, and has now graduated to having her own homeschooling business where she creates custom programs for, yes, my friends, your kiddo who might just need something different than what any structured school has to offer.
Yes.
What a
Thank you.
That was a great intro.
great
That was a
group.
beautiful intro.
I mean, okay, I got to kick this off with an out of the mouth of babes statement that was said to me yesterday by none other than Chasey Parkhill, the 14-year-old with the 14-year-old boy brain. And I just love when his thoughts come out of his mouth, right? Because sometimes I never know what he's thinking. In fact, one day he said something so like ridiculous. He's like, what did I just say? Why did I say that? And I'm like, I'm glad you caught it. I think that's the level up, right? But we had to go pick up Ella from school yesterday. He's on fall break, and he went with me to go pick up Ella from school. Why? Someone asked me why.
Why?
You?
Ella pulled her sight out for the 6th time in 4 days. And she did it twice yesterday. Twice at school yesterday. So Ella Parkhill is not allowed to go back to school until she's off the pump, which is hopefully going to be, well, by tonight. So.
Okay.
Anyway, he came with me, which was so sweet because he was laughing that I had to go back to school the second time yesterday morning to go pick her up. And he says, Mom, it's so interesting to me, and I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but it's interesting to me that Ella seems more normal than anyone else who has special needs. And I was thinking to myself, I love the words you use, buddy, the words you use. There's nothing, sacred or politically correct about it, but he really was just speaking from, hey, I'm 14 years old and this is what I'm observing. And why is that? Why is that? And I honestly have to say it's so due to the atmosphere at which she was able to grow up in, right? Like, started young in that early intervention program, but was always around those who did not have special needs from a very, very young age, and even put her in a regular education kindergarten program at Rainbow Montessori, who I was very lucky enough for them to allow me to do that. I mean, Miss Laura, you were a part of that experience, which, I remember many trying days of you being in the bathroom with her there because we were trying to get a grip on the bathroom toilet training. And she was 5 She was only 5, and we were still hardcore toilet training. But the experience she got with those kids to kick off, a world of seeing social norms in a way, right? And
Right.
and you know me, I've always strived to put her in, hey, why does this got to be a segregated group of kids? Why can't it be inclusive? Everybody together. They learn from her, she learns from them. Let's go back
Yep.
to a period of time of Sundays with Ella. Do you remember Sundays with Ella program? Um, so there's so much that spoke to me in so many ways of me being very thankful that at this early age we ignited that, and I was scared, and I was very vulnerable, and I'd cry a lot because I would see how other kids were growing and making milestones, and Ella was still struggling. But here we are, and she's 20 years old, and yes, she still walks around with all the rainbow bunnies, and she still has that childlike simple mind of hers, but she also has an ability to kind of blend and acclimate and socialize in these situations, which is pretty cool,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Major props to you, Carly. I mean, if you were that scared, I never saw it, not even for a second. You
Ooh,
always seemed so bound and determined. You've always been her best advocate. You are the reason that she is succeeding as much as she is.
oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I remember the Girl Scout experience, and if
Yeah.
I wish that Tracy Dougal was listening to this podcast, because she's the one who said to me, I want to do this Girl Scout experience for her daughter Abby. Would you do it with me and bring Ella on board? I think it would be good for all of the girls to meet Ella and have her be a part of this. And I was scared because it was hard. And I prayed that they would be accepting of her because she couldn't talk very well. It was a huge learning experience. And that first meeting, I stood there and I had tears in my eyes because I didn't see them accepting her right away. That was really, really tough. And Tracy stood next to me and she said, how are you doing with this dynamic? Are you okay? And I said, mm, I'm not, but I will be. And this is important for both of us, me and Ella. And and from that point on, it just got better. Really got better. Every time got better. But it was tough. It was very, very tough. And I'm an emotional person. I don't think I'm an empath, but I am an emotional person. So it was, I had to step out a couple times just to take a breath and be okay with it.
Mm.
But kicking off today's podcast with that kind of aha. So there you go.
Awesome.
There you go. So,
Well, I love it. I love that he was able to observe that and articulate it and see the
yeah,
amazingness that his sister really is.
yeah, I agree with you. That was kind of cool. He, they're so judgy and they're all little walking narcissists at that
Right?
age, right? They're full of themselves. It's all about being cool and looking the part and, standing out enough, but not standing out too much, right?
Yeah, being a teen in today's world, I mean, it was hard enough in the world I lived in when I was a teen, but today with social media and everything, I
Oh,
truly cannot even fathom the difficulties they face day
yeah,
in and day out.
yeah,
So, yeah.
100%. 100%.
Carly, quick question, not to like
Go,
regress,
bring
but
it.
why? So why can't she go back to school because she's pulling the pump out?
Yeah.
Like what?
So, yeah. So she was on fall break last week, and the week before that, she was in and out of school all week because of the cough that would go away.
Okay.
So I was very excited to send her back yesterday. Yay! After like almost a month of being in and
Right.
out and in and out of school, I was excited to send her back because the cough was under control. She's really not coughing anymore. And
Great.
we were planning to stop the Remodulin this week. We had to put it on hold because of how sick she was.
Oh,
And so I brought her into school. She pulled the site out. Go down there at like 8:30, put the new site in. I leave to go get some groceries. I'm pulling in my driveway. It's like 9:30. They call me again. And so then I'm frustrated and I'm thinking, do I need to put a bandage on this thing? How am I going to keep her from touching it? Where on her body can I put a site that she can't get to or can't rub it off? You know? So I called Chad, and, for those moms out there who have a very busy husband, the type of husband who can't accept phone calls during the day. You're bothering him, they answer the phone. Hey, what's going on? You're bothering him, that love Chad, but that's him. And I call him and I say, Ella pulled her site out for the second time this morning. Basically within the last, 2 hours, she's pulled the site out second time. And he says, okay, well, you're going to go pick her up. This is how we're going to solve this. You're going to pull her out of school, and she's not going back until she's off the pump, because it is life-threatening. It's life-threatening for her to not have that medicine continuously flowing through her body. So it is what it is. Go get her and see if you can start the pill, the Uptravi pill, sooner. So I call the pulmonologist.
Okay, I guess I continue, but so it was Chad. It wasn't school saying she can go back.
Right. It was
Got
Chad. Yeah. And he was right. He's right. Like, this is what her health is more important. It supersedes everything. Go down there, go get her. So on the way down, I called the pulmonologist office and I said, hey, heads up, that prednisone you prescribed worked wonders. Ella's back at homeostasis. The cough is gone. She's breathing well, but she's pulling her site out. She's done it 6 times in 4 days. We know this isn't healthy for her. I want to start the pill tomorrow. And if you want to stop me, I literally said, if you want to stop me, you better call me today, because this is happening tomorrow. So I gave them 24 hours. I got a phone call back saying, we've received your message. If the doctor has any concerns, we will call you. Nobody called me. So I dropped the pump down to the lowest rate we're supposed to go. I gave her a pill this morning. So tonight we turn the pump off. We give her the second pill. And tomorrow she'll stay home so I can observe her and continue to give her the pills. And Thursday we go see the pulmonologist.
Okay.
Awesome.
10 years.
So just to confirm, she's not pulling the site out at home, just at school?
She pulled it out when she was with Hannah, and I think that it was just in a spot that really irritated her. So
okay,
if she by accident, like, sorry, there's a plane flying overhead.
Okay.
If she by accident bumps the site or, hits it in some fashion and it loosens it enough, that will irritate her. And then the medicine could leak out, and the medicine's very skin irritating also. So I think something must have happened where she bumped it when she was with Hannah somewhere, and Hannah had to do a second site.
gotcha.
And Chad had done one previous day. So she had got one on Friday, the new one on Saturday. Then we had to do a new one on Sunday. That was 3. Okay, so it was 5 sites. And then she did 2 on Monday. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think she's just done with it. We've been talking about how we're going to be done with it. It's a lot. This is 10 years. 10.
Yeah. God, I can't believe that. I remember being there when they put it in.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a dream. This is a dream. I mean, barring that she responds well to everything, the pulmonologist said, unless it's a life or death situation, she does not need to go back on the pump. So.
Oh.
Yeah. Awesome. This is going to be, I mean, as someone who has a husband who's a diabetic, again, no comparison.
No, this is a similar operation.
It's not a child. It's a similar operation, but it's not a child. It's a man an adult man who was diagnosed as an adult, right? But as someone who deals with that, I mean, this is life altering. Like if Mark could take a pill instead of like, and
Insulin
he
pump.
doesn't have special needs for
Right.
the most. You know
Right.
what? Like to do that, it would just be insanity.
I
It
know.
would be so life altering.
I know. I wish a pill for every person that has to be on a pump for some sort of medication. I
Yeah.
really, if I
Wow.
could put a good juju out in the world, give these people who have been using pumps some sort of pill. Because dang, we are going to have such an incredibly different life. And it's happening tonight. She can bathe,
Well,
Awesome.
she can
I hope,
swim.
yeah, I hope
Yeah.
will update us and fill us in and let us know how it's going. I really
Yeah,
can't wait to hear. I hope it's an easy adjustment and transition for
thank
all of you.
you. Yeah. I mean, in other exciting news, Nicole was actually on the phone with me, Miss Laura, when what
Oh,
you saw posted on Ella's Instagram happened.
oh my gosh, I cannot wait to hear about this. I was dying
I think Nicole needs
because
to
on the
come.
one hand, it's like it's so not surprising at
I
all,
know.
but on the other hand, like the things she decides to take into her own hands are just always so epic, and they get more and more epic.
As she gets older. I know.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the best part about it was I had called Carly on a Sunday very randomly. That's not like a normal time that we talk, right? And I had my son home. And so we were talking, and funny enough, she mentioned early in the conversation, like, oh, it's so hot here and I can't put up Halloween decorations. And Ella's very annoyed. And, every year we talk about, the big like inflatables, whatever. So then
Right.
all of a sudden I can hear Ella in the back and I'm hearing things and like when she's not on the phone with me, so I'm getting but big bits and pieces, and she doesn't speak super clearly, as we know.
Right.
So I'm
Yep.
hearing bitch, I'm hearing big, I'm hearing too big, I'm hearing like, and the best is like Carly's like, and then I'm like, oh, what did she say? And it's like, which too big? And I'm like, and then you hear Carly, Ella, the witch is too big for what? What? And then like I can hear it like unfolding on the phone. And it was like, oh, I'm going to send you a picture about what I'm witnessing. So to get a picture of like a 10 or 12 foot inflatable witch that has been, I'm going to assume, inflated with an air compressor in a room that's got 7 or 8 foot ceilings is just insane. Like, it is so funny, and it's so funny that she did it.
Uh-huh.
The best. It's literally the best. I mean, we were at I had family over. We were just like, this is the best thing we've ever seen. This is amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's funny. It's like, I loved your hashtag, like special needs my ass or whatever, because it's like, I'm plugging this in. I mean, I don't know if my husband knows how to inflate a 12-foot witch. Like that would be sitting in our yard. Like he would never. So it's like, oh my gosh, she was like, I'm getting the Halloween party started around here.
Oh yeah.
It was classic is what it was.
Oh my gosh, no, I honestly, I couldn't believe she did that. And the box is kind of heavy. She had to lug it upstairs to her room. She had
Right.
tried to blow up something in the dining room, and I heard it, and I ran and shut it down right away. And this was like a couple weeks ago when the decorations first came off the shelf in the garage. And
Okay.
I'm guessing she thought to herself, if mom sees me doing this, she's going to put a
Hmm.
stop to it. So I'm going to be sneaky, sneaky, bring it to my
Right.
room and inflate the sucker. And then she's like,
Right.
oh boy, it's too big. Now what? And Chase just loves it.
Ella had a face on Oh, also, Miss Laura, it's like, oh my gosh, the witch is inflated in the room. And then it's like, Chicks, why aren't you watching her?
Right.
Yeah, we're still working through that transition because we're one man down over here, right?
I
Yeah.
was gonna say Carter never would have let that happen.
Oh, Carter's ears would
Right.
have been alert, out the door, and what are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
You know? So the fact that Chase is still in his own world, he hasn't graduated to the listen and sniff, listen and sniff at all times level.
I mean, so flipping great.
Gosh,
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have this beautiful content. I mean, I got to wake up to that, like, for some reason, because I know you're a super early riser. I rise a bit later than you do. So you've generally always posted like something early in the morning, and it's always like the first thing on my Instagram feed. So to wake up to that, was that just yesterday, right? To wake up
magic.
to that on a Monday morning was just chef's kiss, man. It was perfect.
It was so fun. So
Oh my gosh. I know. Ella's shenanigans are just monumentally entertaining. It's true. I and I've struggled with like creating a channel for her, on YouTube with just me wearing a
Mm,
GoPro or something because I often think
right.
to myself, other people just need to know. They just need to
Yeah.
see and hear and
Mhm.
just be a part of it. I watch other families that have their shows on YouTube and they're funny, but this stuff you can't. It's too good. This
Yeah.
is the whole essence of why Nikki and I started the podcast because we had to get it out there. You know.
right.
Right, right.
Um, tell you another short tidbit very quickly. We went to Minnesota to visit, the bigger brother, and we're coming back. And remember, again, we're a man down. So when we go through security, Carter is a big part of that circle of making
Mhm.
sure everything goes smoothly, right? Now, what
Right.
typically happens in security, people? Ella poops herself, nervous, whatever, excited, I
Right,
don't
yeah.
know. But we've got an oxygen machine. We've got a medication bag that sometimes has alcohol in it, but definitely has sharps.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got whatever carry-ons, other like backpacks with snacks. Oh, did you put a water bottle in there and you weren't supposed to? Yes. Those kinds of things.
Mhm.
We've got to take off shoes. We've got a wheelchair. We've got lots of things. So everyone's usually got their job, right? Chase kind of has gotten away over the course of years because he's been the younger one. And so we're like, we haven't given him like a designated job, so to speak. We just kind of yell at him to pick up the slack. Well, on the way back, we're sitting at our gate and I'm talking to the lady at the gate, asking to pre-board so we can set up Ella with her oxygen. And I turn around and I say, huh, where's the oxygen machine? Where
Oh.
is the oxygen machine?
Gosh.
Can't find it. Nope, can't find it. It's back at security, which is a
Oh.
half a mile away. Honestly,
Uh,
I'm not exaggerating, half a mile away. So I have Chase call Chad, who's off in a lounge working somewhere. And Chad says, yep, it's got to be back at security. So he running. They call the security. They say, do you have it? Fortunately, they did. But we were honestly boarding in like 5 minutes. It was very stressful, but thank heavens they had the machine. I cannot believe that they kind of let us walk away. But it's like, oh, they searched the med bag. Oh, they searched the backpack. Oh, Ella pooped herself. I got to get to a bathroom and clean her up very quickly before people
yeah.
are smelling it. Like it was a lot at once, and the machine got left behind. So,
Mhm.
yes, going
I, I
forward.
I love that. On that same note, I had seen recently saw something on Instagram about a family traveling with small children.
Yeah.
It made me think of you and Chad. And before the husband's getting on the plane, he's saying to the wife, remember, we're on the same team. Always do not leave each other. We are on
Oh,
the same team. I got you, you got me. And funny, like against these little, gremlins.
Oh my gosh, that's actually, I think Chad has used that phrase with me before. I'm not the enemy here. You can be nice to me.
Yeah. Miss Laura, what's going on with you?
Yes, please.
Um, it's been an interesting fall because, yeah, the fall breaks have not lined up this year. So I had two clients out last week. I have a third client out this week. So I didn't plan any group activities like I've been used to. So things have just been quite mellow, just dealing with the day-to-day stuff, helping support. Thank you again for that beautiful introduction at the beginning, Carly. But I do want to add too, even if your kiddo is in school, I do after school work to help support anything that might be going on in the home or just added, extended school stuff. I'm happy to work with whatever teacher your child has to, continue working on those skills at home and whatnot. So I have two kiddos in school, one that is completely homeschooled, but their sibling is in school. So they took off for the fall break and whatnot. But it's fun. I get to work with, a bunch of different ages. I've got ages 4 through 18 right now. So it's been nice to be back with some littles again this year. That's been really fun. But yeah, it's been rough with this heat, like trying to plan Halloween activities, trying to get my brain in that thought process cross our fingers. I think Sunday was our last triple digit day.
Yeah,
I
that's what I've
think we're
heard.
done now.
I
I thought it was going to be yesterday, but I don't think it reached 100 yesterday. So, yeah, just, it is weird, especially when, you're working with a population because I mostly work with autism and their brains are so black and white. And so sometimes I'm like, should I even teach about fall? Like, they're not going to see fall leaves falling off the trees. Like,
Right.
they're not, like it's just, there is truly no fall here in Phoenix.
Mhm.
And yeah, there are Halloween activities and things. So, I teach, Halloween vocab like jack-o'-lantern, bat, mummy, Frankenstein, whatever, things that they might be seeing around town that they can kind of start to recognize. But yeah,
Are
it's just
you
this
are
weird thing.
are you taking any new clients?
I am not. My caseload is full right now, and I even got a text message this morning from my hairdresser's daughter has somebody that needs support or something. So I said, I sent over my website and my email, and I said I'm happy to put you on the wait list. I might have an opening coming up in January. I'm just not sure.
Okay.
Um,
Even
so yeah.
even not a full day, school person, but somebody like the after school program or the even helping assist with acclimating into the classroom better, troubleshooting issues that are happening in the classroom at the school. Is that something that you would be willing to open up at some point?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, most of my after school stuff is pretty solid right now. But I could possibly open up like an hour a week consultation kind of a thing.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, my days are pretty solid right now.
Okay, when you come back in 2 weeks, I'm gonna really make an effort to have Ella's boyfriend's mom come on to the show.
Yes, yes.
She's been struggling so much with getting her son. I think
Mm,
I've told you, and they've worked through some good stuff, some good ideas, but
okay.
I feel like she would so benefit from having you in her corner with what's
Aw,
happening with him at school. So, yeah, if we could even
yeah,
bring her on and let her share
sure.
and, just see where it goes, even if it's down the road, what,
Absolutely.
whatever it may be. But she's just somebody, she is my hero in a lot of ways because she has had zero respite or habilitation
Oh
up
my gosh.
until this year, and her son is 21.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's been doing
I
it
can't even
all.
imagine.
doing it all
Yeah.
with intermittent, untrained, um, random babysitters that will come in and just sit in the house because he can pretty much sit there and be on an iPad and be fine. But,
Right.
that's not living, right? Like,
Right. Right.
you should have
Well,
somebody
and
working through.
maybe when my time opens up, maybe that's where I could be beneficial too, is training. So, if she's got a consistent babysitter, I'm happy to train because usually they charge significantly less than I do.
Yeah.
So if I can give them the same skill set, and then it helps the
Well,
parents out.
she actually has now, in fact, hired one of Hannah's best friends. So
Oh, good.
so she does have Sweet Mia on the weekends now. And
Oh, awesome.
it's been a challenge for Mia to kind of undo 21 years of, not
Yeah.
having somebody to take him from mom and take him
Right.
out and show
Right.
him the world and acclimate him because he gets very uncomfortable. So, but I don't want to speak on, out of turn or out of touch.
Yes.
I want Carrie to be
Yep.
able to share. Um, and so we'll try
Yeah.
and make that happen in a couple weeks when you come back.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah. So, but do you have anything that you would like to make sure that our audience knows that's up and coming, or what's a word of wisdom for this fall? Where, the Halloween is upon us.
Oh.
We're finally gonna cool off.
Right. I've got it. It came up. I don't really like, I'm not a person that really picks a word for the month or the year very much, but I do, I follow a lot of different accounts on Instagram and things. And when people start talking about like the energy of the month and the time that we're in, the word flow came up several times right in a row. And I said, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I've been actively trying to do, as my world has taken turns this fall, is just to kind of be in tune and stay in that flow. I'm not trying to force anything because that's not productive. I'm just trying to hang with the flow. So that would be the word I would put out there for folks to focus on.
That's a good one. Be present. Just try and maybe even take the signs that you're given and go
Yep.
with the flow.
Yep.
I mean, I
I
know
like.
that I can feel it when I'm vibing on the wrong level.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
well, folks, I think we've got to say goodbye for today. Next week we're back with just Nicole and I. So we will look forward to seeing you again in a couple weeks, Miss Laura.
Yeah. And it was so good to see you today, Nicole.
To
I
see you,
know.
and thank you for being on. And oh, you always have so much to add. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you both for having me. I love it.
I know, I couldn't agree more, Miss Laura. We love having you. So remember, folks, the grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. And try and go with the flow if you can.
Go. Oh.